My name is Katarzyna Kosmala. I'm Professor of Culture, Media and Visual Arts at the University of the West of Scotland, presenting this paper together with Elizabeth Gardner, PhD candidate of University of the West of Scotland, and Thomas Dahlberg, cultural planner based in Sweden, Gothenburg. Historically, cultural production has its focus on the art sector, whereas more recently, over the last 2 decades, contemporary arts and contemporary practice has broadened its base to embrace cultural planning, urban planning, as well as placemaking. We ask in this paper what cultural planning methodology has to offer to the cultural landscape of the city, and especially based on the 3 case study locations associated with shipbuilding heritage of Gdańsk, Poland, Gothenburg, Sweden, and Govan in Glasgow in Scotland. The question is, can urban regeneration, placemaking and socio-economic development incorporate cultural resources in a way that is more complex and multifaceted, and in that way only can capture and celebrate the cultural DNA of the place? As we know, in 20th century UK, arts and culture were pretty much separate from the other aspects of urbanism. There were polarized positions which continue today, for art's sake, or treating the arts and artists instrumentally, perceived as useful for tackling issues and problems in socio-economic and disadvantaged areas. This is why post-industrial cities continue to suffer from this perpetuated disconnection between culture and urban regeneration, leading to homogenization of urban design and proliferation of non-places made of housing, retail development that could be seen as being located anywhere. In the paper, we explore the potential of cultural planning as applied methodology in a post-industrial urban context, as an access to understanding how meanings can be generated and disseminated from the cultural sphere into the social, political and economic spheres in a pursuit of building alternative futures. We use 3 examples of the Waterfront heritage zone case studies in Europe: Govan in Glasgow, Scotland, with a long history of shipbuilding spread over 17 yards along the River Clyde, which now has 1 working shipyard remaining, and areas which are awaiting reindustrialization. Gdańsk, Poland, the home of Solidarity movement that impacted so hugely on the politics of the Eastern Bloc, whose few shipyards remain as operational, some building luxury yachts, and local activists and artists fighting for the regeneration of the remaining areas. And Gothenburg in Sweden, which is undergoing a master planning process that seems to be ignoring the shipbuilding heritage altogether. So we argue the artists are in the lead, as cultural planning approaches, very often led and held by artists, working with local people and through local people and existing cultures and its histories, could deliver places that are both distinctive, innovative in their design. It seems, however, that without articulation and distinction, cultural planning is not the default approach to regeneration in any of our European city examples discussed. Rather, despite apparent agreement about the need to respect the past, avoid gentrification, and incorporate diverse voices, cultural ethnicities, and multiple layers of histories as we move forward, the economic argument holds sway and the needs of the developer dominate discussions. So key recommendations from the papers are the suggestion and examples of ways that cultural planning approaches could be developed and delivered in the various cities should be considered and explored. This would require spaces for dialogue where all sectors could come together and share in their own languages their visions and plans. In each of the discussed examples, there are artists, architects, academics, cultural planners, creative interventionists, inhibiting abandoned building, creating events in spaces and places, reminding us of the past, listening and celebrating diverse voices, and suggesting possibilities for the future, listening and working with communities. Without transition, however, Gedesian layers are missing, and the rich symbolism as way of marking for the future is lost on the developers whose priorities are often profit-driven.